Forceps.
Forceps.
Sponge.
Sponge.
Rinse.
Rinse it yourself. I can't believe you got me into this mess. Next time you want to pass a note during class, give it to someone else.
I was just trying to let you know the movie surfers were coming online.
Great. Now, thanks to you, we're both going to miss it.
No talking during detention, people.
Would you rather we pass notes?
I expect this place to be spotless when I get back from my meeting.
Where are you going? Oh, I am not cleaning this by myself.
I thought you wanted to join the movie surfers.
I do, but...
Then watch out for Mr. Durst.
Are you sure about this?
There's the modem, I got a password, and we're in. Hey, Tina, it's Drew. Serving time with Bianca.
It was his fault. Hi, Tina.
Hey, guys. Ready to check out a new Disney comedy?
Yeah, Chris here. And Tom, our team's ready.
Hey, crew, it's Matt. Any other surfers on board?
Yes, it's Megan. Alan, are you out there?
Right here. So what movie are we scoping, Tina?
Today we're surfing, or should I say bouncing our way behind the scenes of Disney's new comedy, Flubber. We'll meet the absent-minded professor himself, Robin Williams, and his co-star, Marcia Gay Harden. See some high-flying scenes from the movie. Whoa! Yeah. And find out how the movie makers created the fantastic world of Flubber. Later we'll join Matt in the Movie Surfer studio.
Hey, surfers, roll up your sleeves, because today we're experimenting with edible flubber.
And remember to look out for our trivia quiz. We're going to bounce off the walls Flubber style. Everybody in?
Let's go. We're there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Click away.
Flub on.
Up and ready for a new day.
In Flubber, Robin Williams plays Professor Brainerd, an inventor who creates a world of gizmos and gadgets, including his two handy helpers, Weebo and Weber.
Thank you, Weber.
Good morning, Professor.
Morning, Weebo.
But the professor's greatest discovery is the invention of Flubber, a miracle goo that could save his university from bankruptcy.
It has all these different capacities of, splitting into different things, transforming, assuming shapes, but it has its own dance number.
But the day the professor creates Flubber, he also makes the biggest flub of his life, forgetting his own wedding for the third time.
She's been in love with the absent-minded professor forever, and they've tried to get married several times, but every time that she plans a wedding, he doesn't show up.
And that's when Wilson Croft steps in to steal the professor's fiancée and his new green invention, Flubber.
He has a history of stealing his ideas and taking them and collecting the credit and the money and all the rewards.
But as you'll see, stealing Flubber isn't that easy.
Wow, that Flubber's a real blast.
How'd they make Flubber do all that?
Maybe it's a puppet or something.
Doubt it. Let's focus on Flubber and find out.
It's a green glob of goo that basically bounces and is an energy source that you can put into cars and make them fly.
And the main thing about it is it's phototropic. That's what powers it. I mean, that's when it, expands, explodes, and then reacts all over the place.
It took a team of artists over a year to bring Flubber to life. They started with a computer wireframe 3D model. Then they animate the model, giving the movement Flubber's mischievous personality.
We could use a little more of this kind of, just to give it some more vibration.
Once the model is done, they add the green translucent color and lighting effects.
Flubber had a challenge because it wasn't a rigid model, as we call it. Like a human, I will always have arms and legs, and I will always have my head, and my neck has so much limitation. But Flubber could do anything at any moment, and even in the computer, that's really hard.
Let's try and describe you. You're an elastomer. Yes, you're highly viscous, but yet you can phase shift.
The biggest challenge was actually lighting a transparent object, and pretty much every light on Flubber is from behind Flubber. And you'd never light an actress that way because then they'd just be pure silhouette.
One of the hardest things to animate was Flubber stretching over Robin's face. They scanned Robin's face into the computer, and then Flubber was placed over it.
Wow. I'd love to be an animator.
I'll bet it's harder than it looks. Probably have to be like a great artist or something.
I never considered myself an artist, and I still really can't draw to save my life. But computers opened up a whole new world for me, and it's all there. You just gotta tear that wall down and go for it. It's a total shot in the arm when you take on something impossible, and then when you see it at the end and it works, and you just go, yeah, I knew it all the time.
They make Flubber seem so real with all that science lingo.
Yeah. How did they come up with all that techno talk?
Good question, surfers. When a script calls for scientific know-how, Disney goes straight to the experts.
I sort of anticipate the script and make suggestions to Robin. I'll type up a sheet of terms that the scientist would use to describe a polymer like Flubber. And he ends up working all those into the mix at some point or another.
If you go from hot to cold very quickly, you get a conductive polymer, and you complete the metastable sphere.
We tried to cast Flubber in modern scientific terms, in terms of rationalizing why it could store so much energy in metastable states. It gives the illusion that the science is plausible. This is the professor's lab, and what I do in the lab is set up lab glassware, make sure that everything's set up correctly, make sure things aren't upside down. Sometimes we cheat a little bit. Sometimes things look like they're hooked up, but they're not really.
Reactor. Yes. I'm glad we don't have to clean that lab.
I think most of the chemistry apparatus in this movie, with 20, 30 minutes of tweaking, you could probably make it into a real working setup.
Wow. What a bang.
In the end, it's entertainment, but if you can come away with maybe a little knowledge that science is extraordinary, that's great.
Stay tuned for more cruising behind the scenes of Flubber right after this.
Didn't think it could be this much fun, did you?
Don't push it. We're supposed to be washing, not surfing. What if the teacher gets back?
Relax. He's still at his meeting.
Bianca, are you still out there? For the moment. Tina's doing an interview in the chat box. Come on. Okay. You, get busy. Hi guys, it's Tina, and I'm here with Marcia Gay Harden, who plays Sarah Jean Reynolds in Flubber. Well, surfers, do you have any questions for Marcia? Out of all the scenes, which one was the most fun to be in?
There's a scene in the movie where everyone is in a big library and we're trying to catch Flubber, and Flubber's gotten out of a steaming vat and it starts bouncing all over the room. And as actors, we had to fly, so we were stuck into these like leather diaper kind of things, and we would be hoisted all over this big library flying. And I think we laughed more on those days than any other days on set.
In real life, are you like the character you play in the movie?
You always share qualities with your character. That's part of what attracts, I think, an actor to a role. She likes her own way. She's very determined, and she's forgiving. You know, I'm probably not as forgiving as Sarah is. I'm working on it, okay?
How do you act with the Flubber special effects if there wasn't anything actually on the set?
You have to imagine. You imagine that it's there. You imagine the presence. You imagine the noises that it makes, and other actors would help you out by giving you the noise of what might the sound be. It might be like, and that might be the sound, and so you play with that. It's a challenge, but it's a fun one.
Do you ever surf the net?
Yeah, I do actually.
Would you like to check out the Movie Surfers website?
Absolutely. How do I do that?
Easy. Just log on to DisneyChannel.com.
Well, thank you very much, Marcia. I really enjoyed
it. You too.
Marcia's pretty lucky. Can you imagine working with Mr. Durst?
Yeah, imagine Mr. Durst acting. Well, Flubber, I think... Mr. Durst, you're back early.
I forgot my glasses. What are you two doing?
This is a science project that we're working on for extra credit.
He's our cyber professor.
Oh, bombarding him with light bulb photon flashes.
Interesting. Better get back to those beakers.
We're on it.
Can't believe he bought it.
Come on, guys. We're gonna find out how they made Weibo and Weber.
Great.
Hello.
Live on the edge, Bianca.
Weber! I'm watching TV! Download some manners.
He's the hands for Weibo, and he sort of does the sweeping, does the dusting, cooks the breakfast, and you see he dusts whatever he has to. Whatever he sees it's dirty.
That thing could do some serious damage. How do they operate that thing?
It takes 4 main operators. One operator does the driving and the body rotation. A second puppeteer operates the tilt on the body and the head rotation. And then there's one puppeteer per arm to control each arm individually.
Did you fully fix the flubber on each tack before we painted?
Yes, I'm positive.
Excellent. And Weibo is, the ultimate personal assistant. She does everything, organizes and, reminds.
It has little ears that flap and could be like arms. Weibo is a real dynamo. She has this wonderful screen that she pops up on the top of her head. She kind of lets that take over when she doesn't want him to know really what she's feeling and thinking.
Make sure the flubber stays in the tank.
Have no fear. Go Medfield!
Okay. She's a very strong personality. She has a great sense of humor. She thinks of herself as a human.
What were you doing in there?
Flirting with the alternator.
We didn't touch anything.
Check out that car. I'd love to have one of those.
You don't even have a learner's permit.
I wonder how they made his car fly.
You think they used a helicopter to lift the car off the ground?
One way to find out.
Let's see what this baby will do.
The production Flubber is a huge visual effects movie, and there's over 600 visual effects shots in the movie. We're working on the flying sequence where Robin Williams is flying the car, and he was shot in a full-size car on a motion base. And the motion base allows the car to float around and move and roll. There's a whole sequence of shots with Robin and the Sarah character flying through the air.
When you see that 63 T-bird flying in the clouds, it's beautiful, but it's also, it's a kind of the core of something deeply human to want to fly. I love flying. I'm not afraid of flying. I'm afraid of falling.
Solitude up here. The stillness. The silence.
Uh-oh.
Silly me! Turn it off.
It's that 30,000-foot drop that really bothers me. But it's the idea of once you're up, it's like, oh my God, the feeling of that and the idea of, defying gravity.
The shots that involve a flying car, for instance, involve a flying shot over the miniature landscape where we're going in and out at different altitudes above the landscape. This took about 3 months to build. One of the more difficult things about building this model was putting the trees together. Doing things that are represented in nature are very difficult, and you need a very good eye to build something like a miniature tree to understand how a tree fits together and the density of the leaves and how to make one tree not look like another.
There's nothing to worry about.
Hey, surfers, it's the trivia icon. Ready to test the best?
She must mean me. Dream on. I'll take you on any time. Why not? I already beat you in one game today. In Flubber, the professor has a flying car. Can you name the Disney film that features a flying bed? Simple. Mary Poppins. Nope. Mary had a flying umbrella. Bedknobs and broomstick was the answer. I knew that.
Okay, you guys, this one's mine. The woman who provides the voice for Weibo is also the voice of what famous Disney animated character?
Was it Meg from Hercules?
Nice try. I'm the voice of Ariel, the Little Mermaid.
I love that movie. And what other movie did Robin Williams play Professor?
I know. Dead Poets Society. Carpe diem.
What's that mean?
It means wash the beakers. Actually, it sees the day.
Okay, then. Let's seize the mouse and find out more about Robin Williams.
Sergeant Major, tell the men we're going up and over the hill. I'll be back here having a nice glass of champagne. Good luck to you, Sergeant Major.
The man is a comic genius, and in between every take, there's a monologue that just comes out of thin air.
Hello, I'm Marcel Marceau. Welcome to our institute. If you have been doing things like walking in the wind, seeing a wall, or simply picking a flower when there's nothing there, call us. A mime is a terrible thing to waste.
He's just such a solid human being. And then on top of it, he is a comic genius. Robin's improvisational abilities are extraordinary.
Worship me! Worship me!
Part of Robin's success is his spontaneity. So whether he's in a rig or without, he just goes. And if there's something that he finds interesting about the rig, he'll expound on that.
I thought we were going to strike oil.
Look at that thing. Tina, what's he standing on?
They call it a parallelogram. It helps Robin appear as though he were flying.
They're very similar to a camera crane, and what the device does is it's able to move an object up and down with counterweight and hold it level to the ground. A teeter-totter would tilt like this, and the object wouldn't remain level.
They also made Robin fly with wires.
They could travel you 100 yards, bouncing you, hitting the floor, and then back up 50 feet in the air. This stuff is incredible.
Traditional flying, there's two wires. Typically, they're on your hips. They go up to a triangle shape, and what that does is keeps the wires apart and keeps it from twisting.
It's frightening maybe for the first second, and then it's just like sheer fun. It is a ride. And that's what makes it, a gasp.
Surfers, grab a pen and paper. Coming up, I'm making a recipe for mean green flubber treats.
I'm hungry. Is there anything to eat?
How about dissected frog's legs?
Nasty.
Well, Matt's cooking something up in the studio. Let's check it out.
Good idea. Finally.
Hey, surfers, Matt here in the Movie Surfer studio. Today we're making flubber treats you can mold yourself and eat. And just like in a movie, the flubber that we make can take on any shape. You can use a lot of things as a mold, like bowls, ice trays, or cookie cutters. Today I'm using a cantaloupe. Melon, please. Thanks. First, cut the melon in half. Ask your mom or dad to help you out. Next, take a spoon and scoop out all the hairy seeds and stuff. Yuck. Then, hollow out a shape for the mold. Save the melon pieces to eat later, or now. Once you're done, rub the inside with vegetable oil using a paper towel. That's so the flubber will slip out easier. Now it's time to make the flubber. Start with 2 6-ounce boxes of lime gelatin mix and empty the contents into a large mixing bowl. Ask your mom and dad to add 2½ cups of boiling water. That's about half as much as you normally use. Carefully stir it up until all the powder dissolves. I feel like I'm a scientist. Then carefully pour the gelatin mixture into the melon mold. Let it cool overnight. I got one I made yesterday, chilling right here. Carefully turn the melon over so that the flubber slips out. It should be jiggly and bouncy and tasty too. Bon appetit, surfers. Let's try to make those. You go down to the home ec room.
Me? Earth to Drew. Come in, Drew. We're in detention.
Mr. Durst will never know.
Mr. Durst, what are you doing on the Movie Surfers website?
Well, everyone's talking about Flubber, so naturally I... Have you two finished cleaning up?
We kind of got sidetracked by the movie surfers.
Oh, really?
To find out more about science, of course.
And what did you learn?
That Flubber can do just about anything.
Can it finish cleaning those beakers for you?
No.
Then I'll see you both after school next week.
What?
Thanks a lot, Drew.
Well, guys, it's time to bounce. As you can tell, making a comedy,
It works, Weebo.
even with Robin Williams, isn't all fun and games.
That's looking good.
Making Flubber takes serious planning and designing, a lot of talent,
Wow, thank you.
and of course, the green guy himself. Let's sign off with Flubber strutting his stuff.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
See you on the web, sir.